As most classic car owners will tell you, there's always a list of little jobs to do on your car, and my Lotus Esprit S3 is no exception. So rather than put them all into a video as sort of bits and pieces kind of video, what I've tried to do is put the different tasks under a similar theme. And for this video, it's all about fuel. So coming back from an event recently, I decided I was getting low on fuel, so I decided to go and fill up at the local service station. Or rather, I didn't fill up because if anyone out there has an Esprit, they'll probably know it's really difficult to fill both tanks. What I tend to do is open the fillers on both sides and sort of pump into one of them until the pump goes click, then go round to the other side and pump into that one until that does the same. There's two tanks. There is a balance pipe in between, but it takes a little while for that to work. And the biggest issue now is with pumps is that the delivering of rate of flow is way too high really for the diameter of the neck that fills the tank in the Esprit. So anyway, I did my best to fill up at the service station, and then I drove home, which must be about a couple of miles, no more than that. And when I got home, there was this very, very strong smell of fuel, which is never a good thing. And so I thought, what could be the case here? Is it leaking? First reaction, is it leaking? So I had a look underneath. No leaks. Well, that's good. It's a hot day, so maybe a lot of evaporation, whether it's the breather pipes. But I only replaced the breather pipes a couple of years ago, perhaps, with new pipe work. So it shouldn't be that either. So the next thing I did was check the filler caps. The only other thing is I was just sniffing by these fuel caps, filler caps, and I wondered whether it's just a little bit of smell coming through there. So I actually got new replacement gaskets, replacement seals. Pretty straightforward to change them. So just undo these two screws, remove this plate and slip the old one off and put the new one on. And then make sure that this sort of locking mechanism is done up in the right way again afterwards. But yeah, I think it's interesting. There's kind of a bit of residue on there already. The trouble with the hot days, you're getting a lot of evaporation. So it wasn't the filler caps that were the problem. So what could it be? Well, I did a bit of Googling on the forums of smelling of fuel after you've filled up on an Esprit, and then sort of did a bit more investigation. And if I sniff in this corner and then sniff in this corner, the smell is much stronger over here on the right hand side. So that could well therefore be because on this tank, on the right hand side tank, is where the fuel sender is. And I did replace the fuel sender a little while ago, but I think I put on the old seal back on again. There's sort of like a gasket that goes between it and the tank. So possibly there's a leak there, which might explain why the smell is much stronger over there than it is over here. Now the only issue being now, you have to take the engine cover off. I have to remove this this shelf in the quarter light, and then underneath that is the air intake silencer. It's like a big drum, and the big sort of hoses that connect to that to go into the airbox. So that's the shelf out of the way, and you might be able to make out the rest of the stuff that's under there. So we've got this big drum here, which only applies to the earlier S3s, which is an air intake silencer. So basically the air intake, the air is coming down sort of a pipe right down there. So the air is coming from from within the luggage space actually, and then it goes into this drum and then into the airbox. So I'm going to need to probably take off this big hose here, and then likely the one attached to that, so I can then move that out of the way and get to the fuel sender, which you may or may not be able to see just down there with the wires. Can you see it with the wires coming out? Not sure. Maybe from this direction. You might be able to see it from here. If I point to it, these right down here underneath. Quite a long way down. So yeah, got to get some hoses out of the way. So there you go. Here's the air intake silencer. So that air comes into that part and then goes out of this and into the airbox to then feed in the carburetors. But like everything on this car, it's just damned awkward to get to the places you need to get to. However, now it should be easier to get to and see the fuel sender down here. It's not, it doesn't feel damp, but when I then rub my finger along it and then put my finger to my nose, it does rather smell of petrol. So I'm hoping that that is the problem. So let's see if I can get to this. It's actually just held in place with a kind of locking ring. If you can see that, it's just a sort of that ring there that comes around, and then the whole thing should, he says, the whole thing should come out. It used to come around just a little bit more, but I can't. Oh, why is that stopping it happening? That's got it. It's got the locking ring out, so yeah, the whole thing should come out. And look, yes, look at that. The tank is full to bursting, which is interesting because I don't think I put the full amount of fuel in, but I guess I must have done. Anyway, we'll see. We'll have a look at if I can get the seal out. Here we go. Ugh. So here's the seal. It's looking very wet for sure, so that's obviously what the issue is. So I'll get the new one out and compare. So here we've got the new one. Let's just get rid of this bag out of the way. It's got the new one and the old one. Interestingly, the new one is actually narrower, but is it thicker? No, it's about the same thickness, but it's narrower. So I wonder. This one's certainly bowed a little bit, quite compressed. Anyway, we'll give this one a whirl. Try that one and see if that solves the problem. Actually, what I might do first, I might just clean that out first because there's a lot of crud around the opening. So I was pretty surprised at how full that tank was. Let's just try and get this. If you can see, get the new gasket in. I assume it's okay for this stuff to be sitting in petrol. It's kind of what it's made for, I guess, but yeah, it seems an interesting idea. For all the electronics box to be sat in petrol. Maybe I won't fill it up quite so full next time. Right then, now all I've got to do is to put everything back again, which is always a pain in the bum. So while I'm thinking about things fuel related, I thought I'd take a look at this fuel pressure regulator. So it's been fitted to the Esprit along with an aftermarket fuel pump, a competition fuel pump. So I had some issues with fueling, or what turned out to be fueling issues. I covered that in a previous video, I think. And so I took this off, bypassed this and took it off, put a different fuel pump on, and I just wondered if this was causing a problem. So I haven't had a chance to look at it till now, but what I'm going to do now is open it up and take a look. So I'm guessing, so these two here seem to hold it to this bracket. So it's going to be these four hex nuts that I'm going to have to undo. I don't even really know how these things work. I'm guessing there's some kind of diaphragm inside, maybe. How does that regulate fuel pressure? I don't know. This one's only got a kind of one in, one out tubes. I know some of them have sort of a couple in, a couple out, I think. Or there's one where it sort of goes, you know, if there's excess fuel, it will go back into the tank. But this one's just a straight through. So yeah, I don't know how it works. But the issue was when it was getting hot. But anyway, we'll see. It'll be a bit of a voyage of discovery opening. Some of you may very well know what's inside these, but I have no clue. So we'll just have a go and see what's in it. It's obviously a spring, as it's wanting to jump off. Okay, so there's some kind of sprung-loaded needle there, so I'm guessing that sort of spring happens when the fuel pressure in this bowl gets too much. And then it's stuck. It's just a kind of a rubber bladder of some sort that's stuck and got trapped in the clamp there, and then a spring. So the spring is acting on that. You can call it a bladder. What would you call it? The word escapes me at the moment. Let's just take this other thing out, the clamp thing off, and we can really see what it's doing. I think the word I was looking for was diaphragm, wasn't it? So it's a kind of a rubber diaphragm. Yeah, actually, the diaphragm itself doesn't look in too bad condition. Just trying to think which side with the fuel. If that's the fuel side, though, is it that way round? It was that way round, wasn't it? So the fuel is going in. Okay, so I get it. So that rusty side is not the fuel side. The fuel side, this side, and that was pretty clean. So that acts against a spring, which acts against this on top, which I'm guessing is you can screw up or down to adjust the point at which you want it. So what is this anyway? This is it's made in Italy. Doesn't have a particular name on it or anything, I don't think. No. Oh, yes, it does. It's a Petrol King fuel saver, fuel pressure regulator from Malpassi in Seregno, Italy. World patented. It's got a serial number, so obviously some serious stuff. So yeah, so it acts. So that screw screws down on that, which then adjusts the point at which this diaphragm will act onto this little spring-loaded valve, which then lets things through. So work that out. So that's out. So that's the incoming fuel comes in there, will come up through there into that bowl, and then out and up to the carburetors. So if the fuel's coming in, filling up this, when the fuel gets too much, will that then act against it to stop the valve, or does it open the valve? Yeah, that sort of acts against that to stop it. So if it gets too much, it will stop it. Anyway, you know, I can't actually see anything particularly wrong with it. So maybe it wasn't this part that was at fault. Maybe it was just the pump was overdoing it. But yeah, it seems a bit of quite a flimsy thing. Anyway, there you go. That's what's inside a fuel pressure regulator. I'll put it back together again. Please leave me a comment, give the video a like, and subscribe to the channel to see more things being done to my Esprit, but also to see more videos about classic sports cars and Grand Tourers. Thanks very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.